I looked forward in time. I saw 14,605 futures. And how many of those did Bitcoin die? None. What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an awesome day today. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency still in the red today. Now, we did have a bit of a mini sell-off last night. We did kind of bounce back slightly, but you can see right here, we took this major dip, and that was exactly correlated with the news when Trump came out and essentially said that the stimulus package will be postponed until after the elections. You could see stocks sold off, and Bitcoin sold off right next to it. And this is leading a lot of people to say, you know what? Bitcoin is not acting like the safe haven asset. It is not acting like the uncorrelated asset. Instead, it's basically just doing whatever the stocks are doing. So what's the point? Well, I'm actually going to show you in today's video that Bitcoin is not actually as correlated as you may think on the macro, although these small movements do often seem like Bitcoin is basically just following stocks. And we're going to talk about why Bitcoin is still an incredible investment. We're also going to talk about the fact that we have seen DeFi absolutely, well, not absolutely, but it has started to pull back. We have seen value start to get lost. So what is going on with DeFi? Is this the end of the DeFi bubble? Is DeFi slowly bleeding out? We've seen lots of the altcoins, especially the DeFi altcoins, absolutely bloody lately. So I do want to discuss whether or not this is the demise of DeFi, or if there is something that could potentially revitalize the space. So I do want to talk about that, as well as a breakthrough for token sales, token offerings actually coming out of the Polkadot camp. For all my Polkadot fans out there, we're going to discuss that, and also the fact that Ripple might potentially be leaving the United States. Yes, all that in today's video. And friendly reminder, we do have the AMA with yours truly happening on Crypto Atlas, and that is happening in 1 day and 3 hours from now. So if you want to basically be a part of this, you need to head over to Crypto Atlas. Just make an account. It's absolutely free, guys. Plus, it's a really awesome website to check out. And basically, you can come down here. You can see there's 2 people that have commented, but it's pretty much going to be like a first come, first serve basis. So if you want me to answer your questions for the AMA, which is, it's a text-based AMA, so you need to actually go type the questions, right? So just go over there, sign up to Crypto Atlas. It's totally free, guys, and drop any of your questions below. And yeah, it's going to be like a 45-minute to about an hour session. So like I said, first come, first serve. And also you can go over there and check out all of my suggested products and links and coins and things that I use. It's a really awesome community, and I do think it's just the beginning for this website. And one other thing we have to mention too is friendly reminder, if you are over on Bybit and you do want to get the $390 potential bonus, you do have to enter over where it says voucher code. So you go to promos, it's up at the top. You can see it when you sign up to Bybit. Links below in the description for everything I'm talking about right now, and you literally just enter the code CryptoZombie, redeem, and that's it, okay? So now that we got all that out of the way, I know, finally, let's get to the video, okay? So not much has changed. I wish I could have a crazy prediction to tell you guys right now, but we're still consolidating in this triangle. We've actually formed a little bit of a smaller triangle within the bigger triangle, but we're still looking for the breakout, the end of the second to possibly third week of October. Until then, we could potentially just continue to go sideways, and this is the same exact chart, both spot and futures. So very similar movements in both of these markets right now. And you can see we are still in the ascending channel. So I do eventually anticipate a massive breakout when we do break out. And I think Bitcoin's going to smash $13,000, $13,500 easily. But I have spoken that in the short term, we could retest those lower levels, which means unfortunately we could, yes, dip below $10,000 yet again. Okay. Not much of an update there. Talking about whether or not Bitcoin is perfectly correlated with what happened. Well, essentially, if you guys don't know, President Trump basically shot down Chairman Powell's calls to add more stimulus to the economy. Markets, including Bitcoin, have since dumped following the clash. And basically, Powell says the risk of overdoing it seems smaller than pausing the stimulus. You also had the managing director at the IMF saying, "We are very clear in the message we are communicating to not withdraw support prematurely." prematurely. If we do, then we risk massive bankruptcies and massive unemployments. And obviously, well, the news had a little bit of a reaction, right? We were just saying yesterday how usually the news doesn't have a reaction. So is it a coincidence? Well, I do think Bitcoin was looking to retest a lower level anyway. Maybe this is just the reason to sort of force Bitcoin's hand, right? But having a look right here, although the American GDP is likely to rebound after its 31% plunge during the second quarter, Powell said recovery still has a long way to go. Both organization heads believe the holding off of the stimulus can now lead to worse outcomes than the last quarter. And this is creating that uncertainty in the market. Now, while the Fed's chairman's initial announcement received muted reactions from gold and Bitcoin traders, President Trump's follow-up tweet caused the crash. And if you didn't read it, he said, "I have instructed my representatives to stop negotiating until after the election, when immediately after I win, we will pass a major stimulus bill that focuses on hard-working Americans and small businesses." So, how correlated exactly is Bitcoin with everything else? Well, I want to play this clip super quick from Chamath Palihapitiya. He's a billionaire and he's been very vocal about Bitcoin. And I want to play this clip and he sort of discusses why, although it may appear that Bitcoin's short-term price action could be a little bit frustrating, it does seem to be following the news of what's happening right now. The long-term outlook for Bitcoin is one of the best hedges, really, against everything happening right now. I'm going to play this clip, then we're going to discuss a little bit more, and then we have some other news to cover today.
I would think our technology just in alchemy, we ought to be, I don't see why we can't move around a couple of electrons and protons and just make gold here, but obviously we can't. But sure, right? It's harder to mine Bitcoin than and it's getting harder and harder than it is to mine gold. And I think that's what you're saying right now.
I mean, I think the reality is that, look, the last few million coins of Bitcoin are obviously going to cost more energy than the first, 18 million. But in the grand scheme of things, again, this is something that, in Bitcoin parlance, people say hodl. You buy it, you hold it, you put it away. And honestly, I think you hope that you never need it, because the amount of actual chaos that will drive Bitcoin appreciation is not something we actually really want to see. Now, that being said, if it does happen, I think it will create an enormous power redistribution, and it will push power. It'll push financial accessibility to the edges, to billions and billions of people. And in that, I think there's something to be really proud and excited about.
He also went on to say, the more that people obsess and focus, in my opinion at least, on what the price is, the more it will confound you, the more it will frustrate you, the more it will look correlated to other assets. He says the reality is that it's fundamentally not, because it is underpinned by a set of beliefs that are completely orthogonal to the orthodoxy that runs the world today. Well, that was a bit of a mouthful, wasn't it? So, he goes on to say that a 1% Bitcoin hedge in a portfolio could be seen as an insurance policy that helps him sleep soundly at night, just in case the central banks and the governments of the world step on a landmine. He says, "I just think the more people obsess about price action and the more they want it to behave like a stock or a bond, the more frustrated they're going to get. They're going to find a way of connecting dots that just simply don't exist. It's just not what Bitcoin is," okay? So that is that. Now, let's talk about DeFi. What has been going on lately? We have seen a little bit of, some total locked value falling out of the DeFi, right? We had a high right here at around 11.2 billion, and currently we're back down to about 10.2 billion. So the big question, is this the end? Is the big DeFi craze over? What is happening to all of these altcoins? I mean, I have a lot of altcoins in my portfolio from the DeFi craze, and they're not really looking too great today. I'm not going to lie, right? So what is the situation? Well, there's a few things that basically we need to talk about, right? So number one, not only have we lost value, but also the Binance DeFi index has tumbled over 50% during its first months, and it didn't even include some of the worst performing yet popular DeFi coins. Today, the index is down 63% from its ongoing peak. So here's 3 things that could potentially revive the hype, and I'll go into detail. The first is we need another hot new trend, right? Obviously, we had Yearn Finance initially. That was the one that basically sort of, kind of, in my opinion, just rocketed the whole space. I mean, it wasn't one of the earliest, but it was the one that got everyone's eyes on it, right? And we saw lots of clones following it, all these different Y clones, YFIII, whatever it was. Then we got my favorite, just kidding, not the food coins, right? Sushi, tendies, yam, kimchi, pasta, every food under the planet, you name it. And finally, we had the NFT craze. Now, I don't believe that the NFT craze is actually officially over. I actually think NFTs are going to be here to stay. I'm a huge fan of NFTs. I think they're a great use for blockchain, but we did see a lot of hype over them for a little bit. And then we also saw some of the deflationary yield farming as well. We had Core, and then we had a bunch of Core spin-offs. So it could just be another hype, right? We could just be waiting for the next big hot trend, which I may actually have one that I'll let you guys know in just a bit, right? So that's the first thing. We also just need an uptick in the market. The markets right now, Bitcoin's going sideways, Ethereum's going sideways, the top altcoins are going sideways. Really nothing is performing well except for maybe a handful of low cap crypto gems, which good luck finding them right now. Maybe you've been lucky enough, but right now just all markets are not moving. So if we had that positive sentiment, maybe it's going to happen after the election. Maybe it's going to be with the stimulus announcement. Maybe, could be. I don't know. We might need that. Or really, could just be waiting for Ethereum 2.0, right? How discouraging was it trying to trade or swap cryptos using Uniswap, paying $50 gas fees? It was insane. The network was congested. It was not a pleasurable experience. So maybe with the highly awaited 2.0 scaling solution, that could also be something to push the DeFi space up. But I want to talk about one of my favorite projects out there. Everyone's asking, why isn't Polkadot mooning? Well, nothing is mooning right now, my friends, but you must be patient. I firmly believe Polkadot is going to be an amazing project. They already are doing some great things, but now they're also offering what's known as initial parachain offerings. And this is going to basically go against the ICO model, right? This is going to be sort of a better version. So what is going to make it better? Well, let's talk about it. The entire mechanism essentially is going to be made possible thanks to Substrate crowdfunding module. It's going to allow teams to accept DOT tokens from any current holders of, if you're holding DOT tokens, but you're going to be basically giving them a loan, okay? So it's going to be taken as a loan. So basically, if the project, I know I said basically like 100 times. Take a shot every time I say basically. If the project, no, don't. You'll be on the floor halfway through the video. If the project is able to secure the necessary contribution to win the auction, the DOT loans will be returned to the contributor at the end of the parachain lease period. On the other hand, if the project fails to reach the minimum amount needed, the DOT tokens, or DOT coins technically, will be returned to the contributor immediately. Now, there's an obvious difference between what a parachain offering and a coin offering are. Basically, take a shot, my goodness, now it's going to become a meme. Users have to send money. In a traditional ICO, you send ETH, you send Bitcoin, you send fiat to the team, or whatever it is in return for the native token. This does open a bag of risks. You can be scammed, right? You have to hold the token. You don't know how the token's going to do. And yeah, projects could basically do absolutely nothing, run away with your precious USDT, Bitcoin, or Ethereum, and you're basically, take a shot, holding a token. Now I'm like consciously aware of that. There is a much safer response and a fair way for teams to raise funds and distribute tokens before launching their chains on Polkadot. So it's a lot fairer of a model. You don't have as much to worry about. You're loaning them the tokens, and if they do not go through with what they're saying, you'll get the tokens, returned, and also in the same hand. It's just a lot safer on both parties. So that is that situation. Now, let's talk about what is happening with the DeFi space. Well, we do have panelists that discuss regulations, user experiences, and DeFi accounting during the first day of the 2020 LA Blockchain Summit. lack of regulatory clarity and clear accounting procedures are holding some businesses back from public blockchains, but others are forging ahead. They talk about things like stablecoins, better UX designs that are helping to potentially launch the DeFi space and get more people into using DeFi again. Now, we were talking about potential hot trends, and I went over 4 of them previously. Now, one that we have not really seen is DeFi prediction markets. Now, we have seen prediction markets before, but we haven't really seen them integrated seamlessly into the DeFi space. So could this be the next potential big craze, hype? It could be. I'm not sure, guys. I mean, it could be anything, but we really haven't seen this yet. And PlotX is really leading the forefront. So you can see basically what these guys are doing is automated market making, quick turnaround, focused crypto markets, instant rewards, automated calculations, liquidity mining, and they also, these are if you want to go check out how to get started with them, they actually have a really great overview on how to do this right here. And you can see that they already have this layout. You can see how it's going to work. You have hourly, daily, weekly, and you can come over here, choose your pair. Currently right now, you basically just have BTC USDT. But having a look over this, you will notice that they allow you players to take bullish, bearish, or neutral positions in different markets. Each market is created using the automated market maker, and all transactions are processed on chain for complete transparency. And look at some of these participants that they already have. They have Neo Global Capital, 3 commas is on board. Genesis Block, TRG Capital, they're partnered with Matic and Anchor. We've spoke about both of these projects on the channel before, and obviously it is 100%, decentralized, which is kind of the route that we're really trying to take the whole crypto space. So definitely keep your eyes on these guys moving forward. But speaking of, decentralization, regulation, you've seen them come down on things like BitMEX and McAfee right before he was getting the hand, but I mean, he was literally evading taxes. So, that's a totally different story as well. But now we have Ripple considering relocating to Europe or Asia amid growing frustration at the lack of regulatory clarity in the United States. So you have co-founder Chris Larson saying that the United States is woefully behind in preparing for the cryptocurrency-based next generation of global finance system, coupled with U.S. authorities' policy on regulation through enforcement, and Ripple may consider leaving the country behind entirely. The message is blockchain and digital currencies are not welcomed in the US. You want to be in the business, you should probably be going somewhere else. To be honest with you, we're even looking at relocating our headquarters to a much more friendly jurisdiction. I don't think that the posture at the SEC today can possibly get worse for crypto and blockchain. It's just crush it and push it away. And to be honest, these guys, what the US is really doing is pushing themselves back. Look, I get it. You're trying to protect people, protect their investments, protect their money. But at the end of the day, all you're doing is stifling innovation by making it so difficult for these guys to raise funds, to be compliant, to run a business, right? You got to get a bit license in just the state of New York alone, which is like jumping through hoops, and you're allowing other countries to get ahead. So when this revolution does officially get to the forefront, well, the U.S. is probably going to be behind. In fact, you had the CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, explain responsible players like Ripple aren't looking to avoid the rules. We just want to operate in a jurisdiction where the rules are clear. So not really too great for the USA. I got to be honest with you guys. And also, I do want to end on one little bit of news I wanted to mention from Elrond. They actually have collaborated with Utu, which is another project that I was also looking into. They are dealing with trust. It's very difficult to deal with trust, especially on the internet, right? And they're going to focus on circulating a portion of the Utu token supply on the Elrond mainnet and establish a token swap bridge shortly after Utu's trusted recommendations will be made available for Elrond smart contracts. So if you are not completely wasted from taking shots during this video, which I hope you're not day drinking if you're during the day, but that is it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. Thank you for coming back to the channel, getting subscribed. Friendly reminder, once again, we are doing the AMA tomorrow. You need to go over to this website, sign up for Crypto Atlas, go down in the description, drop your comments here. I will leave it in the pinned comment and in the description of this video, and that will happen tomorrow. So that is it for me. Thank you for coming back. You guys are my rock. You're my stone. I love you guys. I really do. I really do love you guys. Thank you so much. That's it for me today. My name is K-Dub. This is CryptoZombie. Hope you have an awesome freaking day. And until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out, basically.